So hey, can we verify that we've got good audio coming out, audio commentary coming out on the live stream?
Standing races take place on short circuit-based tracks. Once the race starts, gotta keep in front. The driver in last place at the end of the countdown is knocked out. Cars that suffer terminal damage are also knocked out, and the timers reset.
Alright, everybody, welcome back aboard for another episode of My Gaming Diary on my channel on Twitch, or if you're watching this in syndication on the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube. Once again, my name is Gasicles.com from... I'm sorry, Gasicles.com. My name is Gasicles Stamus from Gearworks.com and the E2KG Network channel on YouTube. And I am here tonight playing a little bit of Dirt 2, going a little retro. So this game came out in 2009, and since then, 3 other iterations of this franchise have come out, all of which I have and have played. I guess I'm kind of a big fan of the franchise, even though, ouch, this doesn't seem to be a franchise that I talk about a lot. So this is my second live stream session of this weekend. After much troubleshooting and effort to just get it running. Fortunately, I talked about that a lot last live stream. I don't need to talk about that tonight. So I want to make 2 apologies before we really get things started. Oh, I forgot this was Last Man Standing. I'm going to be playing this again. Problem is I'm coming into these corners too hot and then losing time on the recovery. I might just be pulling it out. I thrashed the back end too much.
Look where you're going, okay?
No, looks like I'm pulling it out here at the end. Ooh, just read the corner there. So, the 2 apologies I want to make is, number 1, I mowed the lawn today, so my allergies are absolutely killing me. I'm very congested and really stuffy, so unfortunately you're probably going to hear me snorting a lot on the voiceover commentary. I do apologize. The other thing I want to apologize a little bit about is I mentioned in the live stream that the microphone I'm using is, in my opinion, the highest quality mic that I have, but for some reason in the last live stream I'm getting like a burst of background hiss every once in a while, so periodically it's perfectly clear, ouch, and then every once in a while there's a burst of background hiss for, I don't know, maybe 15-30 seconds or longer. So I'm not really sure what's causing that. But I'm only live streaming this twice, and then I'm moving on to the Nintendo Switch. So, I was already up troubleshooting, trying to get this live stream set up to work last night until 2 a.m. So, I'm just unfortunately not ready to expend any more troubleshooting time trying to track that down. So let's go ahead and get into the hardware setup that's in play.
There's some new events now available, buddy.
Let me go ahead and pick my track first, or event. Wait, was that a gate crash? I hate the gate crashing events. So I'm playing on my primary gaming PC tonight, which runs an AMD FX processor, I think a Vishnaya SKU or line or whatever. It's a 6000 series AMD FX which runs 6 cores, 32 gigabytes of RAM. And 2 NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070s rigged in SLI. Now, of course, this game that I'm playing is old and is obviously not SLI enabled. But I do have it running in 4K, which is really awesome. Unfortunately, you don't get to see that streamed to Twitch or to YouTube, because the video capture device that I'm using can take the 4K input and pass it through to my LG 27-inch UHD display, but to YouTube it only sends 720p. So then I'm also playing. Oh, crikey! Then I'm also playing tonight using the Microsoft Xbox 360 wired controller for PC, which is pretty much perfect for this game and a lot of other racing games. For video capture tonight, I'm using the Blackmagic Web Presenter, which is a really awesome piece of kit. It's a prosumer device that is really used for in-studio or in-the-field live video work. And what the device does, I talked a lot about it last live stream, but I didn't actually describe what it does. What it does is it takes any input over HDMI and sends it over to a PC so that the PC thinks it's a webcam, which allows you to do all kinds of crazy stuff. What I didn't know when I purchased it until I got it and actually read this one comment on the back of the box, I didn't realize when I bought it. I bought it mainly to improve the quality of my podcast and allow me to do things on my podcast like be on camera, but then hit a button on the Tyrannix Mini panel, which is an add-on that I bought for the front panel, and switch the live feed right to like an iPad that's streaming a YouTube video or something of like a game trailer or whatever. But on the box when I got it, it indicated that the web presenter could also be used to stream video games to Twitch. Or YouTube, or Mixer, or anything for that matter. or to go live on Facebook or Twitter. I mean, it can be utilized anywhere where you can send a webcam feed. So Skype, Google Hangouts, things like that. So I use it from time to time amongst all the other video capture cards that I test as my capture and streaming device. Now, what's really nice about the Blackmagic Web Presenter also is that with that Tyrannix mini panel, what I see is I get to see a little live feed of what's actually being sent out to whatever software application on a little 1.8 or 2.5 inch video panel on the front of it. So that is really awesome. For voiceover commentary tonight, I'm using the Liegi L58 studio microphone. Again, it is also a pretty high-end device. I think it retails for the kit that I bought it with goes for maybe like 108 to 114, something like that. It's a studio level microphone. I'm using it in a microphone suspender screwed onto the top of a Samsung mic stand. So the Samsung mic stand is like a 6-inch high stand with about a 3 to 5 pound base to it, so it's really sturdy, doesn't move around if you accidentally bump the table. Works really well. The Liegi L58 also comes with a 48 volt power supply, phantom power supply, so that was really nice with the kit. I didn't have to buy that separately. Frequently I use the Liegi L58 with my hardware mixer, but I'm not using it tonight. I'm just sending it straight into the PC using a 3.5 inch stereo jack. Oh, I came in fourth? Nah, I don't really care about those. The other piece of gear that I'm using tonight is the Elgato Stream Deck, which, unfortunately, if you're not using Elgato's game capture HD software, doesn't have a ton of functionality to it. It is nice and adds some additional conveniences, so, but it's just not, for as much as it costs, I'm not getting a ton of use out of it. I have hot buttons set on it. I have some Game Capture HD buttons set for when I do use my Elgato HD60, but I'm obviously not using that tonight, so the buttons that are on it that are useful is I have one button set to announce that I am live on Twitch. And, just to talk about how that helps, usually what I used to do is I would start the live stream, and then I'd walk over to the table where I was actually gaming, pull up the Twitch app on my iPad or whatever tablet I was on, grab the URL to my live feed, and then share that over to Twitter.
Let's make history.
Then I would manually enter, then I would copy and paste the URL in, and then manually enter whatever message I wanted to into the live announcement.
40 fast right into fast left 60.
So what's nice about this is
Cut 80.
I'm able to pre-format the message and have it all set up, and then once I am live,
Fast left 60.
I just hit this button on the Stream Deck,
Easy right 40.
and out it goes. And then to get it on Facebook, I just pull up the Twitter app and share the link out, and then that's fine. Includes all the same functionality I would have if I did it myself, and it doesn't look horrible, and
40 fast left.
then there's not a bunch of ads thrown in it.
100,
So
keep mid.
the Stream Deck is a little helpful for that stuff. The other thing I have, keyed up is
Keep in into fast right.
a button that lays out my first comment in the chat once I have the live stream going,
20, keep mid.
and it's just a kind of welcome for anybody who happens to drop by and check out the live stream.
Easy left, tighten. 40, medium left. 40, hairpin left, don't cut. 60, easy right. 60, easy right.
Now, this car is quick, but it can
120,
get,
keep mid.
but it's very lightweight, and it can definitely get squirrely on you in a second,
Left 60.
which might be
Easy right to finish.
why I'm not on my usual pace.
Bad luck. Hopefully we'll do better
What?
next time.
Oh. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to run that again. Now I also changed up my audio mix a little after the earlier live stream and tried to increase the game volume, so hopefully it's not overriding.
60.
I wound up not increasing it as much as I wanted to visually. But I believe
Fast left 60. Easy right 40. Easy left into, easy left, don't cut.
I'm pretty close on that.
Fast left into, easy right,
Oh.
don't cut. Just a scratch.
Yeah, I could have also ended up at the bottom of that ravine.
60 hairpin right. Top turn.
I'm not using a webcam tonight. This is actually my last live stream of the week, and my last time using the studio gear that I have rigged.
100, keep mid.
Starting tomorrow, I will
Easy right, long crest.
change my equipment over, and
And medium left, keep in into fast right. 120, keep mid. Crest, easy left, tighten. 40, medium left. 40, hairpin left, don't cut. 60, easy right.
so I just quickly took a glance in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm doing a lot better.
120, keep mid.
But much the same way as when I'm running on the treadmill, I don't like to see the time.
Fast left 60.
Try not to focus on that upper right-hand corner either.
Easy right to finish. Well, you win some and you lose some.
Ah, come on. I almost feel like what I need is just a faster car. I think I am driving one of the entry-level vehicles for that. Oh, well, these are completely different vehicles that I need. This is Rally Cross, and I cannot afford... I can't afford either one of these. Alright, so my nose is running and I don't have any sanitizer in reach, so it's going to be a little noisy, but... So I recently made some decisions about how I'm going to be spending my content creation time, and one of the things that I came to is, I really love comics and movies and TV and everything, but it's just getting a little unmanageable constantly coming home and having like a task list of 10 things that I want to get done in the night, and them all being like non-homogeneous, right? Like having trying to squeeze in a couple episodes of TV, of the shows that I watch and I try to write reviews about, and read comics, and it's just a little too wide. So I'm going to be stepping back a little bit and focusing mostly on gaming, which may mean I may wind up streaming a little bit more as I make that a priority. I know I've enjoyed this weekend just being able to focus a little more and not try to juggle as much. Haven't really figured out exactly what my battle rhythm is going to be for updating the website, but I think I'm pretty square on what it's going to look like as far as my streaming channels and YouTube channel for gaming. So I think the last gate guard, or gate crash or whatever, thing that I ran a couple events ago on here was, I think I came in like 4th, so I'm trying to be very aggressive on acceleration and speed in between the gates. So Dirt 2 is kind of near and dear to my heart in the franchise. I think overall I like it better than Dirt 3, which has more drifting and gymkhana events or whatever. Which I will admit that they're not as bad in that game as they are in other racing games, where I absolutely despise those kind of modes. But it's still not great. I kind of like 2's more kind of straightforward approach to your career season. I thought I could catch that as I came by. Nice. Missed that one. It's like 3 of those gates that I've missed now due to overspeed. Alright, nice. So yeah, well, I've really been enjoying, I've been enjoying Dirt Rally since last year or a couple of years ago, whenever it released. And I've actually really enjoyed Dirt 4 so far this year, even though I know that there have been it's been kind of a polarizing game, and there are those that are not that into it, and I get that. I've had fun when I played it, though. And all these games look really good. As I mentioned briefly, but it really surprises me that Codemasters has taken the time to go back and hit this game and update it with 4K assets or UHD assets.
Hey, Ben, that was a nice win.
What do you say to a little throwdown? Think you can beat the time?
Way to go. You've qualified for X Games Europe.
I haven't done anything in Morocco. Did not realize that. So one of the things I really like about this this racing game is it's very quick to get set up and into a race, which a lot of games have stepped away from,
This is Morocco. The heat is intense and the track is...
and it hasn't been an enjoyable experience. A lot of racing games out today just have too much fluff around them and are less focused on just the experience on track.
Keep it together and we
You
can
know,
win this.
Gran Turismo got that way a couple iterations ago. I think it was 6 seemed to get it back to the regular, to a better balance of that formula. But the problem is that that's the one that I think released
Keep mid over crest, easy left into easy right.
like literally released like weeks after
Into crest jump 40.
the PlayStation 4. As a PlayStation 6 game, wasn't available on the PS4.
Medium left crest.
So, I mean, of course, it didn't get a lot of attention. It was a first week of December release, when lots of gamers, you know, had already spent their cash on whatever holiday games they were going to buy.
Tar, crest long.
And then the year of a console launch just didn't
Into easy right.
gain nearly as much cash as it normally would with the public.
120. Caution, slowing. Medium right onto gravel. 60, hard right.
I really like the blur effects that they have in this game on buildings that are not in your center of focus.
60, medium left. Just a scratch. 60, medium left. 60, hard right, don't cut.
Oh, I think I need to make an adjustment to her voice. I think the option's in there. I just realized, like,
40.
her
easy
doing
left,
this
don't cut.
medium,
120, keep mid.
heavy, hard, like, I've played enough rally games that I'm used to the
Tar, crest.
number system, and that's what I've actually been listening out for, and I just realized that that's not what she's doing, so.
Left, long, keep in. Into fast right, long, keep in, over finish. We'll get him next time.
What? Horrible. Alright, well, I'm going to take a break real quick and check on the live stream. I guess I can do that from my iPad. Alright, so looks like the live stream's still going okay. As far as output integrity goes, maintaining speed.
Ben, you really gotta make an effort out there.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'll restart that one. Because it's tough, it's hard to tell where the track is going, and
Hard right, keep left over crest. 40, keep mid over crest 40.
what I'm more accustomed to.
Keep mid over crest, easy left into, easy right.
You gotta start that over. I'm accustomed to a game like this giving you constantly running a comparison timer on how you're doing in comparison to everyone, so you know, which I realize isn't realistic.
Over crest 40. Keep mid over crest, easy left into, easy right.
You just don't know when you should be pushing it
Easy left into.
or when you're doing fine on time, and unfortunately with this game you really have to pick and choose where you're going to take on risk.
Right, over crest, medium left crest. Into medium right 60, keep left over crest.
Oh, well, there it goes.
Into easy right onto tar, crest long.
I guess I don't pay a lot of attention to it. I'm down to 8th. This is not good.
Easy right. 120. Caution slowing. Medium right onto gravel. 60 hard right.
Okay, I'm up into 6th. Yeah, I continue pushing to figure out where I can make up
60
time.
hard left tight. Don't cut. 60 medium.
Oh.
60
Very effective yell out from my
60 hard right. Don't
caller
cut.
there.
40
Nope,
hairpin
you're not
left.
going to make that.
40 easy left. Don't cut. 120 keep
I'm
mid.
also trying to figure out now where my e-brake is.
Medium right onto tar, crest.
No, that's it. A button.
Fast left long, keep in.
I'm still in 7th.
Into fast right long, keep in, over finish. I was hoping for better.
Alright. May just have to resolve to come back and try that in a better car.
You really gotta make an effort out there.
So, I'm going to stream for about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap it up for tonight in this session, in this segment, before I switch platforms.
Bad luck with that last race. Keep trying.
Hey Ben, if you want to try something a little different, I'm heading to Malaysia for some hot jungle action. Why don't you get a little more experience and I'll take you with me?
This thing, I played all of these. I definitely need to grind a little bit for cash.
Hey Ben, this place is awesome. The people here know how to party.
You know, they're all good. It's just me who's not figuring out entirely well how to drive the newest model, much less older cars that are different. Don't. It's the second time tonight that I've been able to recover from almost going down the ravine. And what I really haven't considered or figured out is I don't know how heavily this event is weighted towards hitting gates versus raw speed. That was better than my last time. Yeah, there we go.
Amazing stuff, man. You just unlocked a cool new set of liveries.
Okay.
Hey, Ben. Good work on that last event.
The Chinese regard experience with extreme importance. In order to race in China, you must have made a name for yourself. Practice some more and come join us.
Okay, now I get it. I can see that the actual markings are just for events where you've placed first at or in.
Keep your focus and the race is yours.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But I appreciate the vote of confidence.
40 fast right into...
Right now, I don't believe my problems.
Medium left, don't cut 80. Fast left 60.
Yeah.
Easy right 40. Easy left into, easy left, don't cut.
Nice.
Fast left into, easy right, don't cut.
See, held it together better on that particular corner than the last 3 times that I've
60
taken it.
hairpin right.
It doesn't show my name on the leaderboard there, so, and I don't know if that's because I'm first or because I'm fifth. First.
120, keep mid.
Of course, that popping up on the top distracted me, which is why I wound up in the side of the mountain.
Tighten. 40, medium left.
I think my killer straightaway speed. I was just getting to the point where I'm comfortable e-braking, and so I would have drifted around that corner a little more effectively, but I wasn't paying as close attention and wound up getting on the brake instead of the e-brake. What's going on now is I am dead tired and having problems staying awake, so I think I have time for one more race. That's gonna be it.
Clean out there.
Yay.
That was so damn sweet.
Hey Ben, your driving was awesome back there.
Let's go back to Morocco.
Trailblazer is a solo discipline based on long, open point-to-point stages.
Great.
Stagger starts are used, so the player might overtake or be overtaken by other competitors over the course of the race.
I don't really know how that differs from rally.
Off to a Trailblazer event already? Good going, man. Unfortunately, your current car isn't up to the right specifications. Don't worry about it, though. My mechanics will jump in and set up your ride. Have a good one.
Alright, 7 kilometers. I don't mind this being a little long, I just can't do like a Le Mans length event like they used to have in Grid.
Intense. A lot of dust around, and man, it's hot. Good luck.
Wish I knew at least a little something about this course that I was on. Because my big fear and problem is that so I don't think that any error on this is really unrecoverable, as long as one of these corners does not lead you off of a cliff. Slip to third. Have to be a little more aggressive and risky. Come on, really? Down to 5th? Six? Yeah, so typically I'm a person who has a clause that does not allow me to go to bed losing. So normally I would say if I don't get in the top third on this thing, I'll definitely be staying up to play it again, but not tonight. I only got 2.5 hours of sleep last night, or this morning, should I say. So unfortunately, I am not going to be sticking with this to get better placed. Which seems appropriate since last night I was definitely saying, okay, what does it look like if I give up PC gaming, and what does it look like if I am PC gaming or I'm not PC gaming, and I no longer live stream. It was all the troubleshooting in the very, very early hours of this morning were all because this was something I wanted to live stream, or for not trying to get all that together in a manner that I knew would work. I would have been to bed much earlier. Oh, wow. From down to 6 and then back up to a podium finish. So, nice way to end. Because I do, as long as I get on the podium in any given race, in any given racing game, I call that a win. So, thanks so much for joining in tonight. For anybody who happened to wander by the live stream and sit down for a minute, sip a cup of tea while I was racing, or anybody who happens to wander by the channel on YouTube and check this out, I do appreciate it. Please remember to like any given video that you see, or subscribe to the channel. Even better if you want to leave me a comment with some feedback on things I could do better. I will certainly give it a listen. I may not necessarily implement what you recommend, because there's I don't know. There's only so much of the stuff that I'm into, so I don't know. And I'm not. My channel isn't here to make lots of crazy videos. It's kind of just to show representative straight stick gameplay with analysis and a discussion of the hardware, especially that I use for the stream, in an effort to communicate to everybody who's into streaming what options are out there and how those hardware selections impact the overall production quality of what you choose. So, once again, my name has been Gascally Stamus from Gearworks.com and the E2KG Network channel on YouTube. Please come back and check out the channel, and also head over to the E2KG channel and check out all of the podcasts that we do on a weekly basis. Right now, 2 of those being covering gaming, one discussion show, and one that's a straight up news show. In the news show, we really try to keep it to 30 minutes so we can get you as many of the week's gaming news stories as we can, and then still have you on your way without feeling like you have to invest or engage for an hour to get through it. So thanks again. That's going to do it for me. I'm out of here.